apparently I wasn't clear enough this morning on my position with respect to the war in Iraq. I have said throughout this campaign that this war was ill-conceived, that it was a strategic blunder, and that it needs to come to an end. I have also said that I would be deliberate and careful in how we got out, that I would bring our troops home at a pace of 1 to 2 brigades per month, and that pace we would have our combat troops out in 16 months. That position has not changed. I have not equivocated on that position. I am not searching for maneuvering room with respect to that position. What I said this morning and what I will repeat, because it's consistent with what I've said over the last 2 years, is that in putting this plan together, I will always listen to the advice of commanders on the ground, but that ultimately I'm the person who is making the strategic decisions. And it is my view that strategically, for us to perpetuate this war in Iraq the way that John McCain has proposed and neglect the extraordinary problems that we're seeing in Afghanistan, to continue to spend $10 to $12 billion a month, to continue to put enormous burdens on our military and military families, is not the best way to make the American people safe. As president, I set the mission. This is I was just had an interview with the Military Times yesterday in which I said one of the flaws in the president's approach is to say that he's doing what General Petraeus tells him is the best thing to do. That's not the president's job. The president's job is to tell the generals what their mission is, because you have to take the entire strategic interest of the United States in mind, not just one particular front when it comes to our national interests. And so the mission that I will set for our generals is to bring this war to a close. That has not changed.
That 16-month deadline easily slip if a general says to you, we can't safely and responsibly move 1 to 2 brigades out a month.
And as I've said before, and this was true during during the heat of the primary, it was true when we posted this website, I have always said, and you can take a look at the language, that as Commander-in-Chief, I would always reserve the right to do what's best in America's national interests. And if it turned out, for example, that we had to, in certain months, slow the pace because of the safety of American troops in terms of getting combat troops out, of course we would take that into account. I would be a poor Commander-in-Chief if I didn't take facts in the ground into account. Right?
You just said that when you used the phrase "refined policies," you did not refer to the 16-month timetable. So does that mean you can tell us today that you will not change the 16-month timetable?
Here's what I can tell you: that I will bring our troops out at a pace of 1 to 2 brigades per month, and at that pace we will have our combat troops out in 16 months. That is what I intend to do as President of the United States.